Good morning. Kind of wanted to do a video over one of my journals that I made for a friend at work. Um, this is for Frankie. Frankie is a really sweet girl, and she has been working really hard at work, and she does a really great job. So I just kind of wanted to make her something special. She's kind of a romantic, and she loves poetry. Um, So, along with this book, I got her one that has favorite romantic poems so that she could use that, or she could either, cut it up and save the ones she loves, or she could just use that particular one. Um, this journal is made out of a old book that I got, and I took out the pages and put follow your heart on the front, and then it has some lace and a paper flower, and then a little tassel, which I put a little key that has a heart on it, all kind of romantic. Anyways, I used some burlap ribbon here. I think it's burlap ribbon. It's kind of stiff, but I kind of like that because it holds a bow really well. So on the inside, I used the Tim Holtz fabric that has the flowers and the bees and the dictionary and everything. And then I used some dictionary pages here, which I did some stenciling on. Sewed some old antique tea-dyed lace, and I have a little bead here that says "Be Yourself," and then there's some Victorian flowers and a Victorian lady here from an ad, as well as some more lace back here, a little doily, and some fabric. And then I have a little tag with some Tim Holtz, that decoupage paper, and a little ric-a-rac, and a wooden flower, and some fibers here. And this is a box, corrugated portion of it that was, I just flattened out and stuck there with a pearl button and some more fibers, and I just bagged it with some paper and put a piece of washi tape on it. So I was having a very creative day that day. The next page, again, I've done some more stenciling and sewed around the edges. And this is, again, another one of those Victorian flowers. Looks like petunias to me. And then I have a little piece in here. And I think this piece right here is from Medieval Mirage, and I did some decoupaging on it. And then this is just some really super pretty leftovers of some paper I had bought a while back, and then some graph paper, butterfly that I cut out of a butterfly book, and then some excess paper that I didn't like on the back, but I like the way it frames it. And then I tea-dyed some, I can't remember what this, cheesecloth, and put that in there. So basically the back is, just some paper I didn't care for. And then I put a little cloth tab on that. So, and then here's another pretty piece of paper. I didn't do anything to it because I just love the way it looks. And if you use a dark enough marker or pen, you can write on it, or you could even do a gold pen. That would be really pretty in this particular journal. And this is just a doily that I glued on here, and you could write around the outer edge, or you could put something there like a picture or something. And this little doily, you could write on either side if you had a gel pen. And then this is just a blank journaling page, because I figure with everything else going on, you probably don't need any more. So then another blank journaling page, and a little flower out of one of my old books, and this page has been stenciled on, and then a little old card from, I believe this one is Graphics Fairy, but not sure. Anyways, I put some fibers behind it and some antique lace. Apologize about my hands. I've got glue everywhere. I've been playing this morning, so yeah. So this right here is from a coffee that I love. I buy the big ones so that I can get this right here. It's from the Community Coffee box. And so I have a template of it because I love it so much, but I just like reusing the actual flaps. And so anyways, I think it looks really cute. It looks like a pocket on a pair of jeans. So I sew around the outer edge, and this one I did, you know, some different papers and washi tapes and just some printouts and some antique paper back here with some lace. That's just vintage lace. And then this right here is from the Graphics Fairy. That's one of her words. And then this is from one of my flower books that I have, some older ones. Then I just folded up some paper, put a piece of washi tape on it, and put a guest check in there. And this is just a piece of paper with a piece of fabric that was decoupaged on there, and she can write on that. Then over here we have a pretty piece of paper with some can't remember what they're called right now. I guess I get to talking so much I forget how to talk. So anyways, I think you know because we've been through that. And then just another piece of paper, pretty piece of paper. This is another one of those beautiful pockets I love, and so I put this on here. And there's not a tag in this one, but I will find a tag for it. And then just something up here to label. And this is just another piece of journaling paper. And then I had some old, it's like a gauzy kind of fabric that was on a gold dress that I found and I cut up. And then just some graphics. Not sure where I got those graphics from, but just some old graphics. And then tea stain paper. This is a bag. Because it was so big and floppy, I just sewed down it so it would hold. And then I used some paper washi tape and put some tags in here. Just some basic, plain, simple tags. And then here I will get a tag and put in here. This is one of those department envelopes. I got it off of, there's a lady that I ordered one of her little kits, and it comes in this blue color or in the standard brown color, and I printed it off, and I'm not sure what her name is, but it is on there. It's a interdepartmental envelope, and so I just cut it up and made a little pocket out of it. And then this is one of the Victorian advertisements, and this is off of a piece of I don't know, some kind of magazine or something like that I had from back in the 40s or so. Then I just took some thread that I had from sewing everything and threw it back there. And it's a book page, and this is just a little butterfly from some graphic thing I picked up at the craft store. And this right here looks like this might be Graphics Fairy, not sure. And then I just took some old fabric here and put it down there, tore it up, and this also looks like it might be Graphics Fairy. And so there's some little tags in here that I had some old paper and made. And then this one's just some old papers and stuff and little cutout butterflies, just little pieces of scraps that I had, and some graph paper on the back. And this is actually a little paper clip, so you could take that and put that elsewhere on a page somewhere if you wanted to, whenever she finds something to fill this up with. So then I have some antique lace here, and this looks kind of like Graphics Fairy. I have this little card that I sewed some lace on top, and I tea stained it and then did some stenciling on top of it. And then this right here is a dictionary page sewn on some paper that probably would not have gone in here, but I stained it and put all these other things and put some words. This is a Tim Holtz. And then this is out of one of those little nature books or flower books that have lots of illustrations. Sewed some lace on the edge of this, or ruffled lace. And then this piece of fabric I folded over and sewed there. And then again, another little flower and some dictionary page, and then some tea stain paper on the back of this here so she can write on it. And then this is just pretty much the same. I used the Tim Holtz punch to do this little tab. I love this little tab. It's just a little fussy for me because I feel like I waste so much paper. I need like 10 of them, and then I would feel much better about doing this particular one. But I like this paper here because it's very neutral, and so it goes with everything. And then this is tea stain, and then a butterfly I cut out, and then a big beautiful butterfly with some different things on the back here to kind of decorate it. And I did a punch here. So, and that's that for that. Put that back in there. And, oh, and I did some stamping. That's that big, beautiful Tim Holtz stamp. And I love that stamp. I need to use it more often. I just don't get it out and stamp with it that much. And I just need to just get a whole bunch of different pieces of paper and just go to town with my stamps. Every color. So, and then again, isn't that just beautiful? I mean, it can be for any season, and it's so romantic, so it really goes in here. This I put here so that she might put some pictures or something in here eventually. It has an extra tag for her to journal on, and that's not decorated. It's very simple, but she is artsy, and she will get in there and put something on it. So, and then we have this little thing right here that has a lot of different little things on it, but you can write anywhere, label it here, write anywhere. You could write up here if you wanted to. So it's very versatile. And this is just a little glassine bag that's sewn into the journal. Here is an envelope. See, Artie Mays, she gets me really inspired. And so she makes these little envelopes and decoupages them and everything. And so I'm sitting here watching it, and then I think, oh, I have to do it too. So, and I guess sometimes that's what we do. We get inspired by other creative people, and it just energizes us. And it's like 20 espressos all at once. So this has some fabric that I had, just an extra piece of fabric, and some little pieces of, this is washi tape, and just little pieces of decorative papers from a different project. And I cut out some butterflies, and then I have some graph paper there. That's on the envelope. And then inside I have some places where she can write. They're all decorated in different pieces of paper that have just been decoupaged on there. And then I have some papers, and I wrote on the top of it. And then just, you know, like some journaling inspiration type things. So I have those in there for when she gets around to it. And then I will put this, back in there like this to make it pretty again. So, and then this just piece of fabric that I stamped a bee on. And then I decoupaged it on here, and then a little bingo stamp. And then this is some of that old gauze that I put on the ends of both of this. And this is antique lace. And of course, this right here is Medieval Mirage. And then I have another one of those little cards I did a little stenciling on, and sewed some lace on top. And this again is another card. And then I put a little Brad up here on this one because it had some kind, no, I didn't put a Brad. This was a card. It was a advertise or a tag on something that I had bought. And I put the paper around it this paper actually had a little hole right here, so I guess so it could hang in the craft store. And so I took that and placed, because that was the top part that you're supposed to tear off. And I just placed that there because it was there and I like the paper. So anyways, and et cetera, et cetera. And this is the bottom part of it. And then this is one of those lace punch outs from the Tim Holtz collection. You're starting to get a pattern here. I do love Tim Holtz. And again, some more of his lace, and then some gauze back there, and then in my little butterfly book. Oh, by the way, guys, if you ever go to a library sale, never tell the librarian that you do junk journaling, because they don't like you. I went and got some beautiful books, some French dictionaries and thesaurus and German, and I've got some Russian books, Spanish books, all of these different languages, because I just love them. And I have an overabundance, so I'm probably going to put some in my Etsy store eventually, when I can figure out how to get down to the post office and how they charge for shipping, so I can price them accordingly, because I don't want to put them in there if it's going to be overpriced and it's not going to be worth it for people to order. But I have an overabundance of some gorgeous books that I got, and I want to list them. So we'll see how that works out. If anybody has any tips on how to do it, and how to package it so that I can get them out there. I also have a really pretty poetry ledger kind of book that some lady wrote in back in the 1920s or so. And I want to put that on get some scans of that and put that out there for people to download on my Etsy store. And that's on Amber's Paper Studio. I don't have anything up there right now. I did, but as soon as I put things up, especially if it's a journal, someone I know says, "Oh, I want that." So it never lasts, and I take it off. And of course, I don't make them buy it through the Etsy store, because then they would have to pay, I don't know, I get charged a certain percentage or something. So anyways, this is from a little kit I had bought at the craft store, and then it's just held in by a tag here with some bling on it and some antique lace and some of the gauze. And then of course this is an Italian book that I had. I think it's Faust in Italian. And so this is also some paper that I had gotten in a pack, and from the craft store, and I made a pocket out of it. And then I just edged around the edge to make it a little bit more rustic. And this is a tag that I had some little butterflies I had punched out, because I like to put butterflies sometimes on my little strings that I have that do the binding of these journals. And so I put these on one of my journals, a different journal than this. And then this is that's from the Tim Holtz, that decoupage with the birds on it. And these are just little flowers. I have no clue where I got them from. And I cut them out, and some music page back here, and the back of some music here. And these are just paper strips that are on here, and then back here some graph paper, and then in the center here is different ribbons that were sewn in. And then I just put some stain around the edges there. And then again, another one of the Tim Holtz. I do love that. And this is the linen paper. This is that Stratford linen paper, and it's just the white. I tea stained it. It tea stains beautifully. And then when you stamp on it, it has such a beautiful kind of texture to it. It just comes out so pretty. So this right here is from I'm pretty sure this is Graphics Fairy. And then this is just tea stain paper that I had done outside. If you do it in the sun does amazing things in drawing tea or coffee toward the surface. And so you just get some really pretty effects. And then just some different little pieces here. This one might be Tracy Fox, so not sure. I have a lot of Tracy Fox, her labels. I think they're so pretty. So, and this is an old, looks like it's an old pillowcase, and somebody had written their name on it. So it may be from like maybe an assisted living or something. But it's such a wonderful fabric. I love it. And then, oh yeah, and then I stenciled, and I use the distress ink on these. So these are the Ranger distress inks in different colors when I do the stenciling. And then this right here, again, another interdepartmental. And this came in a kit. I'm not sure which kit. It's probably Tim Holtz, knowing me. And this is a label. It's upside down, but hopefully nobody notices it. And, you know, some of these labels could have come in one of these little packets, these ephemera packets that I get. This is a card. It's a big tag. And then this is the Tim Holtz, that's his lace that I did a cutout on. I find that if you put a dryer sheet in, it comes out a lot better, but it doesn't help if you leave the last one in there before you cut it out. It's still going to be there. And these are just papers and the butterfly I cut out. And this is some washi tape on some tea stain papers. And so it's really like you need to do these and then do your, oh, this is a AliExpress. It's a little doily. That's fabric doily. You really need to do your videos pretty close after doing your journal. I've had this journal done for a little while, so this is from AliExpress, and then this is just a plain, and this is some paper. This is a plain tag, and this is some paper washi, and it's sewn in here so that I like it kind of simple because I think there's so much stuff going on. I think it's too hard to focus. And plus, you're going to be putting a lot of stuff in there. So this has pretty paper and then a lace type paper background. Then over the top of it, I put this tulle, and I sewed that down. A little butterfly. One of the little flowers out of my flower books, and then a little Tim Holtz baby sitting on a piece of like ribbon, and it's like a braided ribbon with some silver metallic in there. And then I sewed it with a dark upholstery thread on my sewing machine, and then I just put some tea stain paper on the back. So I think this had gotten into something else, and so you know, you use whatever you can, and so what happened? Okay, this pocket was tea stain paper that I did the stencil on, and then this is Tim Holtz, and I'm not sure where this little image came from. It's a butterfly. And then I have some antique laces all around in here with just some different papers. And then these are just the little tea stain cards there. And then I have this here. Okay, and so I have a little Paris paper clip. I'll push these back in because I don't want them hanging loose. So when I do give this to her, I want it to be pretty. Goodness gracious. Get back in there. I know you fit. Alright. So this is just a pretty piece of paper. She's going to have to use probably a dark one or a gold pen on this. And this is just tea stain paper. And then this one should be pretty easy. Both these should be pretty easy to write on. Same thing here and this. It's just stenciled tea stain paper. And then on this side, I have a little tuck spot with a stamp, an actual stamp. I bought on Etsy. And it has some fabric down below from that pillowcase. And then I just have some pretty little things in here. Not sure where I got these from. I'm trying to think of who I might have gotten these from. But kind of almost looks like maybe some Miss Cogs, but I'm not sure, so don't quote me. And then these, all these have on the back, they have the tea stain papers. And then the same thing again. And then another piece of paper from my wildflowers, familiar wildflowers. So either vintage or maybe even antique, who knows. So this is some tea stain paper and a doily, and then some more of that pretty paper. And then here is a heavily stenciled piece of paper that was sewn around. And then I have some, this is kind of cool. I've got some antique lace with a pearl button, piece of the antique gauze right there. And then this is basically held together with some cord, that whatever cord, I can't remember the name of it. This is the one of the Tim Holtz borders, and then I have some different things on here, some different fabrics, and I zigzagged it, and then some paper on the inside for them to write on. And as you can tell, I think this right here comes from Diary of an Edwardian Lady or something to that effect. Anyways, that is that. And then, see, I promised this poor girl I would give this to her a long time ago, and she's just waiting. Oh, this is one of those Victorian cutouts. And it's the actual Victorian cutout. And then this is a pearl that I bought and put in here because my birthday's in June and my birthstone is pearl, and it's very romantic, so I put it in here. And then this is a piece of doily and some Victorian, and then some gauze here on tea stain paper that's been sewn, and then again the Tim Holtz fabric, and very simple back. And then I have some pretty washi tape there, and it's pretty simply made. I mean, it's nothing extravagant or anything, but it turned out just beautifully, I would say. And I think it will wear very well, and for the most part. So anyways, I hope she enjoys it, and thank you for listening to me today. This is probably my second video I've ever filmed, and so I'm probably not the best. So please be patient with me, and hopefully I will get better, and this will turn out to be a regular thing. And so thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.